Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My dear brothers and sisters. Alhamdulillah, I was listening to my Shaykh Hazrat Ahmad Dabagh, and I want to share something very important with you. The year we're in, as you know, the English date we're in August 2020. However, Islamic year, my brothers and sisters, we have just entered the new year, Islamic year, Hijri year. What would that be? What would that be? The average Muslim will struggle to know what Islamic year we're in. Unfortunately, that is how low we have fallen. I have fallen, I would say. We are now in the month of Muharram, which is the first Islamic month, and it has huge relevance in the Islamic history, Muharram. And which year are we in? Hijri, Islamic year. We are in 1442. So we're in the first month, Muharram, 1442. And as I say, the first month, Muharram, there was a lot of history behind that. And one of the things we learn is that this particular month, there was the battle from Yazeed, who battled with Imam Hussain, and Imam Hussain was martyred in this month. What was this battle about? This was a battle from the Yazeed clan and the Yazeed army. And by the way, Yazeed is the army. Yazeed was the leader who ordered his army to do everything in their power to martyr Imam Hussain. And this is where Imam Hussain got martyred by who? The Yazeed was the leader and his army. Yazeed army, Yazeedi. And that is why Yazeedi, although they were Muslims, unfortunately, we do not look up towards them, we look down towards that nasty army which martyred Imam Hussain. And Imam Hussain was no other than the grandson of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Imam Hussain, he was called by the people of an area called KUFA to help assist against the Yazeedi people and Yazeedi army. And why was it that Imam Hussain could not accept the rule of Yazeed, the tyrant of the time, the ruler of the time of that area? Why was it that Imam Hussain refused to give hand in hand to the Yazeed kingship or the Yazeed power? Why did Imam Hussain refuse? Even though they were calling themselves Muslim, the Yazeedi people. There are four things in the main which Imam Hussain saw big shortcomings, and for that reason he asked them either to amend their ways, if not, he's not going to give allegiance to them. And if that means that they're going to war with him, Imam Hussain radiallahu ta'ala anhu, then Imam Hussain accepted this challenge rather than give hand in hand in allegiance to the Yazeedi, because they had so many downfalls in Islam, so many shortcomings in Islam, that as a leader Imam Hussain was not prepared to accept them as the leader of the Muslim people. And I just want to cover four things which Imam Hussain refused to accept them as the leader, because they had four major shortcomings in the Yazeedi people, in the Yazeedi army, in the Yazeedi head. What were those four things? Those four things were, I need to think, where do I fall? Do I fall into the camp of Imam Hussain? And inshallah we ought to do our best to do that. Or by our actions we are falling into the camp to the side of the Yazeedi. Those four basic things I just want to touch. Number one was that the Yazeed and his people, Yazeedi army, they were very much neglectful of their Salah. They were very much neglectful of their salah. So my brothers and sisters, where am I, where are you with our 5 daily prayers? The last thing we want is that on the day of judgment, we are ordered to go and join the group of the Yazeedi. May Allah Subhana Wataalah prevent us from that. We want on the day of judgment that we are allowed, with the blessing of Allah Subhana Wataalah, to join the group from Imam Hussain radiallahu ta'ala anhu. So, number 1 failure, Salah, shortcoming of Salah, and that is one of the reasons Imam Hussain refused to accept allegiance with the Yazeedi. Number 1. What was number 2? Number 2 is that the Yazeed and Yazeedi army and the head, they were fraudulent in their public dealings. They were fraudulent in the financial conduct of the public affairs and public money. They were using it as if it was their personal property when it was public property. So that was their second downfall, that they were fraudulent in their dealings. Where am I and where are you in your dealings, in my dealings? Could we be held responsible? Is our activities fraudulent? So that's a lesson for me and you. Number 2, be fraudulent in our activities, in our financial dealings especially. That was number 2. Number 3, what was number 3? Number 3 was Yazeed and Yazeedi people and the head. They were indulging in alcohol and other misuse of other things like drugs. They were involved in that abundantly. Where are we today as a society? Yeah, do we see that, alcohol and drugs are abundance in our streets, and unfortunately with ourselves, with our people? So which group are we going to fall into? May Allah prevent and forbid that we do not fall into the Yazeedi, but the Yazeedi's trait was that alcohol and drugs was a common thing. And number 4, which unfortunately we find, shortcomings in us today as well. Number 4 was Yazeed and his army and his people. They were womanizers. They were indulging in unlawful contact, unlawful relationships with the opposite sex. That was another big trait of the Yazeedi people. And these, besides other shortcomings they had many, many shortcomings, but these, just to keep it simple, 4 things you and I need to look into ourselves to make sure that we are free to the best of our ability from these 4 things, InshaAllah. Because Prophet ﷺ said to the nearest meaning that Imam Hussain radiallahu ta'ala anhu is from me and I am from Imam Hussain. Yeah, the beloved grandson of our great Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So my dear brothers, my dear sisters, let us make a great intention for the new Islamic year, which has just started. New Year's resolution that we are going to become, InshaAllah, firm on our salah. We are going to become firm on staying away from any fraudulent activities. We're going to keep well away from alcohol and other misuses of drugs and whatever. And we are going to keep well away from being womanizers and keeping well away from lustful thoughts with the opposite sex, or unfortunately the time and days we live in, also keeping away from lustful thoughts against the same sex, unfortunately, is prevalent today as well. May Allah Subhana Wataalah help and guide us. May Allah Subhana Wataalah bless you. May Allah Subhana Wataalah make us great Muslims. And inshallah, I look forward to seeing and hearing with you and talking to you soon. Wa salam.